name's Robert and I run MrPrime.com. I've been in e-commerce for 25 years now and sold over 15 businesses, not sure how many, but two of them were solely Amazon based, a lot of e-commerce, Shopify websites and so forth. And yeah, started MrPrime.com about 18 months ago, and we help sellers, scale and grow, but strategically. And that's the plan. So what I want to show you today is I'm going to try and show you live. So I don't have slides, but I want to just try and show you a little bit live of how we use AI, in the business. So that I'm trying to make tools in the business that, that I can use like day to day, that work with sites, that, Seller Central, that work with AI as well. And just to speed things up and to give myself insights that would be harder to get if I was, basically trying to do it manually. So let me share my screen and show you what I'm talking about. So the first one is basically brand analytics. So I'm going to show you live what this looks like. Now, brand analytics, if you're not using it already, you definitely should be looking at it. And it's obviously for registered brands on Amazon. When you go here and you go down to brands and you go to brand analytics, you're going to see this screen coming up. And this is going to give you a lot of information about your brand, basically. Things like demographics, potential new customers, repeat customers, and they're always updating this as well. So there's quite a lot of information in here, total sales, etc. But I'm not going to get into all of that now. The part that I want to show you is actually the search analytics. So if you go here, this is your Amazon, this is your brand on Amazon, basically. So this is an example brand that I've got here. And effectively, this is your brand share. Now, there's a lot of confusing looking columns, but the ones that I personally focus a lot on are the, so you've got impressions, and then you've got clicks, and then along here, you've got search, you've got add to carts, and then at the end, you've got purchases. And the things that I look at are basically brand share. So the brand share percentage. So if we start off here, you can see this one, for example, would mean if I take Toddler electric toothbrush, it would mean that we've got a brand share in terms of views of 3.81%. And that means that, for people typing that in, we get 3.81% of the impressions. At clicks, this goes up to 5.5. So it means that we're actually doing something right for this keyword in terms of desirability. It's being clicked more. So it's coming out of the search term, it's coming out of the search results well, which is good. And then after that, you move on to add to carts, it's 5.52 again. So it's holding steady, it's nothing putting people off. And in the end, purchases 7.32%. So it's actually more desirable the more you go through the listing. And effectively, you can use this to analyze issues in any listing in terms of the funnel. So it either comes down to you're not getting enough impressions, first of all. So, this one, for example, 0.79% for toddler toothbrush. It's just not getting enough impressions at the moment, basically. So then you'd increase that. And again, you can see where you're losing them in the funnel. So this is really important. But basically, what I want to show you now, that's as a brand, is how I use this, a lot of this data, for each ASIN. So if we go to ASIN view and we add a product, I'm just going to use one that I know of, and we add this, and you do reporting range. Doesn't really matter. I do the most recent one most of the time, and you apply. Now, this is the particular ASIN. And again, same thing, funnels, impressions, clicks, basket ads, and so forth. But this is now specific to this keyword. So to this ASIN. So all of these keywords, my target shows me my brand share for each. And effectively, what I can then work out is, okay, where's it falling down? Where's it doing well? And the way you can use this data as well as for pay-per-click, things like that, for optimization, if you're under optimized for keywords, perhaps it's putting people off, or perhaps you want to add high converting keywords that do particularly well in purchase percentages, you might want to add those into pay-per-click. Just before I get to the AI part of it, what you can also do is you can click into a particular keyword here when you get into the ASIN report, and you can now see all your competitors, the top ones here, and you can see what their impression share is and their click share. And what I found is it's very, very rare. It happens, but it's rare that a strong ASIN for a search term will actually have a higher impression share than click share. Because nearly always Amazon wants the top results for a keyword to be desirable clicks. So normally you'll see impression share will be lower, and it will go up to click share will be higher. So, and that just shows that it's a desirable search term, and that's why you're going to be ranked higher. So nearly always you're going to see a jump. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I'd say like 95% of the time you're going to see one going up to the other. And that just means that people are clicking on it more. So it's desirable. And you can then go in and reverse engineer their listing and say, okay, this one got a big jump from impression share to click share. So this must be doing something right, etc., etc. But anyway, so there's a lot of valuable insight in that in optimization, and it's one of the most important things that that I do in that respect. But going back to this report, one second, just move this out of the way. So if I go back to this now, what you then do to get the actual data in a way that I can understand it, because obviously it's quite a lot of stuff going on here and I'm looking at lots of accounts, I'll generate a download and I'm going to download that data there. And this is where the AI part comes into it. So what I'll then do is I've got a script, which is a prompt that I wrote, and I've just set it up to, I want it to go in and I want it to tell me the high converting keywords that are high click-through rates, that have got good click-through rates, keywords that have got low click-through rates, keywords that are low converting, and keywords that get added to cart but don't necessarily get bought. And this is just a way of segmenting it. You can change these volumes, search volumes, just by changing the number, but I've just basically, put it in like this just for the purposes of this. What you then do is, this is the sort of clever bit, I guess, you go to ChatGPT, you go where you've got the search term thing here that you've just downloaded from Brand Analytics, and you just paste that script in, and you go as follows. And what it's going to do is now going to basically go through here. It's going to examine this CSV file, and it's going to pull out the things. And what it's also going to do is then going to give me an output file, and the output file is going to show me the buckets of keywords that segmented into how I want to see them. And again, you can play around with this. You can play around with the search, the volumes, and things like that. But effectively, it's going to say this is how it's segmenting them now. So high converting ones, 50% higher than the impression share. So we get a big jump, to sale from impression, and high click through, which we mentioned, which go from impression to click. Low click through ones that are not getting clicked much from the from the front end. So that means you've got to work on perhaps the title, listing, etc. Low converters, that could be a fault in the in your actual offering or in the way that it's presented. And indecisive buyers, people that add to cart. And effectively, what it's doing now is it's going to process the data, but just in case it didn't and it crashed, I prepared one earlier. So this is the output file that it will give in a moment. And again, here starts off high converters and search volume here. So I've made it go to a minimum search volume, so I want every single search volume in there. Click share, so impression share here, and you see how it jumps up to click share. So these ones are high click shares, and then they get bought, the actual basket ads and so forth, they get purchased, a lot. So the purchase rate is a lot higher than the actual impression rate. So they're very desirable keywords. So these are ones that I could add to my pay-per-click, for example, and I could focus on ranking these. High click through, these are ones that are basically getting clicked a lot. So starts off small impressions, high amounts of clicks, very high clicks, which means that I'm doing something very much right in terms of, getting the click-through rate. So I can then, again, look at the funnel for these ones and see if I can, add those to PPC or increase the purchase rate. Low click-throughs. So these would be ones where I'm getting a lower impression, but it actually drops. So people aren't clicking off the listing. So again, you can go to your main image, have a look at how you might change that, how you might change the title, how you might change the overall offering, for these ones, and see if you can get these metrics increased. Low converters, so these are things that are potentially not converting well, for whatever reason. And again, you have to go in and identify them after that and say, well, maybe it's not relevant, maybe I'm not explaining this well enough, etc. And indecisive buyers, people that add to cart but are not finishing off and but not actually going on and purchasing. And so those are the ways that I then bucket those. And again, we give some to the PPC team to work on. We look at, we identify, where the breakdown is, and then we find, what our main target keywords is using the data around that. So that is the main thing here. That's the file that would download. So it works pretty much, pretty seamlessly. And that's how we, every account that I look at in the business, we do this with, because I find it so valuable. And then we can actually measure it. We can next week go back and look at it and see what changed, see how things increased, see how sales increased, etc. We can set up an experiment, with a test versus title, see how that affected the metrics and so forth. So very data driven. The only other thing I wanted to show you is just really with AI and ChatGPT 4 is basically just using it, trying to think of it as being creative. So I use this with reports for pay-per-click. I can I can upload pay-per-click reports and ask for trends, just by prompting it, just simply asking it questions, and it can, give me output files about trends on that. But I also use it for like things like main images, ideas for that and so forth. So one of the things that we do is this, just upload something like this, which is actually just a screenshot. And it's a screenshot of just something like that, which could be, 4 products. And I've played around with this a lot, and it can actually read all the text. So you can do a smaller, shrink your screen down, do a smaller screenshot. It can read the text. It can tell you the keywords in each listing. It can tell you how to improve your main image. So and effectively it can give you actually an image output of how you might want to improve your main image as well. So I could then ask it, please give me the top keywords that come up. So for example, if I wanted to go to kids electric toothbrush, for example, in Amazon, I could shrink it down, take the screenshot of the top 20 results, put them in there and ask for common keywords, and then ask it to write me the title. I can ask it for main image improvement ideas and so on. So it's just really getting creative with AI, and that's how you stumble across, some pretty useful stuff. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I hope it's not too technical. It's quite simple when you use it, and yeah, if anybody wants the SOP or the script or anything like that, then just drop me an email, rob@mrprime.com. Thanks.